I wake up, still be trying to figure out this life shit. Can't say I got answers yet, but, I feel like we all trying to figure this out. Yeah, what's a life without peace? Life without goals, life without love, life without souls, life without joy.
What's up, everybody? Before today's episode start, I gotta show love to our sponsor, Varsity Cooler. If you're big on game days, tailgates, or hosting watch parties, this is for you. What makes Varsity Cooler different is that they have bags designed for your favorite sports team, whether that's your college squad or your pro team. So you're not just bringing drinks, you're repping your team the right way. On top of that, they're built tough. They keep your drinks ice cold, and they look clean doing it. And because you're rocking with the real deal with Akil, I got something for you. Head over to varsitycooler.us and use promo code RDWA to get 15% off your entire purchase. That's varsitycooler.us, code RDWA for 15% off any purchase. Now let's get into the episode. Real Deal with Akil podcast. We back with another one. Subscribe, rate, review, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go to YouTube. If you want to see the video, the full episodes, and the segments breakdowns, go to YouTube, Real Deal with Akil, and you heard the ad read in the beginning. VarsityCooler.us is the sponsor of this podcast. 50% off, code RDWA. UFM TV. Shout out the whole crew. Easy, Derlin, Rudy, Rob, I'm not going to forget you. Lance, Trey, Wilson, the CEO of UFM. If I missed your name, my apologies. I'm going off everybody's name because Rob said I forgot him. So my apologies. And everybody that's rocking with UFM. Thank y'all for getting us to 20,000 followers on TikTok. Thank y'all for engaging on all of our content on every platform. We do it for y'all. We are approaching 2 years collabing with UFM and putting out some great content. Wilson been having UFM go on for quite a while, since 2017, around the same time I started this podcast. So the grind never stops. We got a show today. I appreciate, again, everybody tapping in with the last episode and engaging with that as well on every platform, plus YouTube. I appreciate y'all very, very much. Yes, I do want to start off today locally. Again, and we are going to start again with the Houston Texans, but not about no stadiums. It is about CJ Stroud. There's been a lot of talks, a lot of discussions with CJ Stroud. If y'all have not been aware, this week there's been talks, trade rumors, mainly because of how he played poorly in the playoffs. That's why the discussions happened. But then also, too, he's coming up on this, this around the fourth year. That's when contracts talk starts to happen. Do you get franchise tag? You got the 5th-year option. And that extension comes up, right? It's time to reset the market. That's what's happening in the NFL. Resetting the market. Right, that's what a lot of quarterbacks do when you have a young quarterback that's talented, franchise quarterback. They tend to reset the market. They might not be the best quarterback in the league. We look at Dak Prescott, who's the highest paid annually as a quarterback, but he's not the best quarterback in the league in my eyes. To a lot of people's eyes, look at Pat Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen. But it's coming up for CJ, and oh my God, everybody's up in arms. Man, you not gonna trade no CJ. You can't do that. You got a longtime writer for the Texans / Oilers, McClain. I will run down naked if CJ gets traded. Now, sir, please, we don't want to see that. Just keep the clothes on, okay? But that's how confident he is of the Texans not trading him, right? And there are a lot of Texans fans that believe you cannot trade CJ. That will not happen. But I'm here to tell you this. I know people listen like, oh, shoot, what he's finna say now. it's not something that will be earth-shattering, right? These talks is happening for a reason. Like I brought up the playoffs. He didn't play well, right? But you have to also remember, too, Will Anderson is in that same draft class as Will that was drafted with CJ. Literally, the Texans traded the Cardinals to move up to get Will Anderson. And they're both 3 years in, and Will Anderson is by far the best player, not just only better than CJ, but he's the best player on this team. So when you look at the Texans situation, you don't have to pay CJ right now immediately, right? He's going to his 4th year. But with Will Anderson being in the same class and he's outperforming CJ as him being a pass rusher, who am I paying first? Will Anderson, I'm paying CJ. Of course, a lot of the times the situation is you're going to pay your quarterback before you pay Will Anderson, before any other position. But in this case, I'm not letting Will Anderson go. I am giving Will Anderson a blank check and say, here you go. Write how many zeros you want on this contract, because you're going to reset the market for non-quarterbacks. I am guessing, I will predict that Will Anderson will be paid more than Michael Parsons. The Texans will pay him more than what the Packers did, Cowboys did with Michael Parsons, right? That's how I'm predicting it. CJ, there's a very good let me say this. It's going to depend on how he performs next season. Next season for CJ Stroud is a very, very critical season for him. Reason being, you go look at the playoffs and you look at how he started his rookie season till now. So the trade talks is something that's just not impossible, right? The discussions of it, the rumors of it only happened because of the decline from when he started his rookie year to now. Yes, the rookie year is that was one of the best rookie seasons ever from a quarterback. We get that. But what have you done for me lately? Okay, yes, you do have 3 playoff wins. Right? Very good defense. Do he play a part in a few of these wins? Yes. Okay, yes. That's on his resume. He has 3 playoff wins. Division title. Yes. I understand that. Right? But if you're going to pay CJ, the prediction right now is he's going to get 4 years, $224 million. Of course, not fully guaranteed, but that's the contract extension. That's the projection. That will leave him around $55 million a year. Do you know who's getting paid that amount? Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Those guys are getting $55 million a year. And you know what those 4 quarterbacks have in common? They are either the best player on their team or they're one of the 5 best players on their team. Is CJ Stroud a top 5 Houston Texan player right now? If he is, he's probably 5. Maybe. Will Anderson, Daniel Hunter, Stingley, Lassiter, Nico. That's already 5. Petrie, 6. I could say he's over Bullock. Maybe. Is he over Nico? Right? Like, if Joe Mixon's not hurt this season, is he over Joe Mixon? He plays the most important position. But is he the best player on his own team? Right? So when you look below that number, when you get around that 53 to 50, okay, he's better than Tua. Is he better than Goff? And that's the thing. When we look at CJ when he started his first year, the projection like, well, damn. Second season, he should get even better and reach that number 5 spot as far as quarterbacks. Yes, I was part of a video that went viral when we did a speak when you hear a better quarterback than CJ Stroud. And we had CJ Stroud better than a lot of these quarterbacks going into year 3. We had him better than Goff. We had him better than Kirk Cousins and all these quarterbacks, right? Like, hell, some of us had us better than Jalen Hurts. And so that was the projection. That was a projection with CJ. So he played like a top 10 quarterback his rookie season. His second season, around between 10 to 12, 15. And then now in the third year, he's looking like between 15, 20. And you had to go back to the draft. Going into the draft. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. I was one of the 80% of people that was mad that we did not get the number 1 pick. Why? Because I wanted Bryce Young. Let's just be honest. 80% of Houstonians or Texans fans wanted Bryce Young over CJ. Go take yourself back to memory lane when we beat the Colts week 18. And remember the reaction. Oh, God damn it. Oh, shit. Lovie Smith just gave it the number 2 pick before he got fired because he knew he was going to get fired. We got the number 2 pick now. Now we got to get CJ maybe. CJ won us over our rookie season. But going into that, we wanted Bryce. I wanted Bryce. 80% of Houstonians wanted Bryce. But CJ won us over, and CJ started off better than Bryce Young. Second season, CJ was still better up until week 13, 14. From when Bryce Young got his job back towards the end of year 2, up until now, to the end of year 3, Bryce Young has been playing better than CJ or on that same level. From the second season of their careers, from December up until now, going into year 4, they're on the same tier now. CJ was above him. And that's just one season. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And going into next season, you can make a legit case that Bryce Young is over CJ. And nobody will look at you crazy. That's just the truth. Because when you watch CJ play, you know he has the talent. He has the intangibles. Is the footwork the greatest? No. But a lot of the issues, the weaknesses that people was talking about before the draft is starting to show now. If the first read is not there, then he gets to be, you can rattle him. Because when you go back to Ohio State, that's why people that know me know that I was never big on Ohio State quarterbacks. CJ won me over finally. It took damn near 20 years. But I was never big on Ohio State quarterbacks. Why? A lot of them was one-read guys. Ohio State is damn near wide receiver U. A lot of the quarterbacks, their first read is open. You're not going through your progression at Ohio State. You're not going through 2, 3, and 4 where you have to do that in the NFL. So all of that stuff is showing. And now when you watch CJ, when you go back and watch the New England game, it's all mental. It's all mental. I know people called for his job in the second, going into the third quarter in the playoff game, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. Let's just be honest, it was a business move. You can't bench CJ Stroud, and your franchise guy, in the playoff game. You got to ride with him. Now, we know it's easier said than done. We will be playing Madden, and you'd be like, well, shit, if I was the coach, I would have benched him immediately. Nah, okay. Lose that locker room if you want to. Lose your locker room if you want to. I was out, and during that halftime, everybody at the place was saying, put Mills in, put Mills in. Because we seen what Mills did this season. They was 3-5, basically dead. And then all of a sudden, you put Mills in, because CJ got hurt. He was in the protocol, and they go on a winning streak. CJ gets it back, keeps it going. They get into the playoffs hot, mainly because of the defense too as well. What Mills did that CJ couldn't do, he did not turn the ball over. And I want to believe that if you did put Davis Mills in that game, I do believe the Texans win. But let's say you do that. Let's say you put Davis Mills in and the Texans win. Now what do you do AFC Championship game? You go back to CJ? Or do you stick with Mills? Because if you stick with Mills and they get to the bowl, win or lose, now you're in a controversy that you never thought you would see yourself in. You never thought it'd be a controversy of your future with Mills or Stroud. Because if that's the case, there ain't no damn $224 million extension. If you do turn to Mills and he pulls off a miracle and gets the Texans to the bowl. Because mainly that was the frustration with the fan base. It was mainly because, we know we have an all-time great defense and we can't let this go to waste. Because you never know and it was the golden ticket. It was a golden ticket to get to the bowl. And we didn't get that, unfortunately. No Lamar, no Mahomes, no Burrow. And now guess what happens next year? Teams get better through the draft, free agency. Injuries, I don't want that to happen, but you never know. The Texans defense stayed healthy majority of the season. So it was a wasted opportunity. So that's why the trade talks is coming out. That's why it's like, okay, do we really pay CJ $55 million a year? Is he really that? This is a critical year because, hell, we got to pay Will Anderson. We might have to re-sign Hunter. You still got to pay Lassiter. So you have some decisions to make if you the Texans. To see if CJ can make that jump. If he makes that stride forward and he bounces back mentally and he plays on an MVP level, doesn't have to win the award, but plays on that level, and we see glimpses of rookie season, but even better, then no problem. Give him the money. That's cool. Give him the cash. But let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say that he takes a step back and it's even worse. Now you're in a situation that now you traded Deshaun Watson. You got CJ. He had a great rookie season. But he just declined after that. Bryce Young plays better again than CJ. That's some questions that the Texans will have to answer. Some very tough questions. Moving forward, NBA All-Star Weekend passed. And, the weekend overall was mid, mainly because that I didn't know the weekend was going to start at 4 o'clock. And they was on the West Coast. I'm so used to watching at 7 o'clock, primetime television. This was in the middle of the day. And the 3-point shootout, which, by the way, was the best event of the entire weekend, was the first event. So I was like, damn, 4 o'clock Central? Y'all wanted to get in and get out, honey. Y'all just basically say, yeah, our event is trash. Like, we're going to start All-Star Weekend very early and get it out the way. 2 o'clock out there in L.A. Seats wasn't even filled. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that thought this would start at 7 o'clock. Like, I took this weekend like they basically told themselves like, yeah, we know All-Star Weekend isn't what it used to be. It's not the premier event. where the stars show up. So we're going to treat it like that. And it just felt like they just wanted to get it out the way. Let's just get done with this weekend. That's how I felt. And I know the All-Star game was good. The format was great. I do like the format. I do. But it didn't feel like an event to me. The game Sunday did. It felt, because of the format, they played hard. But just the weekend overall was just like a big sigh, like it didn't feel special. And let's just talk about this dunk contest real quick, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying get rid of the dunk contest. No, you do not get rid of the dunk contest. You do not do that. I don't want people to think that every year since the dunk contest started, that every year has been just so great. Right now with the dunk contest, we're like in the era in the early 80s before Jordan, I want y'all to do your homework. Go pull up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a dunk contest. I want to say that took place in 1981. I want y'all to go do that, and you come tell me did that look like anything we've seen lately. Okay? So we can't act like the dunk contest has been great ever since it started. No, you had some down years. We're in a point right now that we're going to probably get a good dunk contest once every 8 years at this point. Either from an individual or the whole contest. Do I believe the whole contest will ever get great where all four dunkers is going to be right there? No, it's always going to be around. It's going to be two at the most. I can't think of a time where all four dunkers all put up 50s or something. That's just not. No, we're going to get one or two, right? People saying we got to go get street ballers. I was once on that fence of saying, hey, we got to go get street ballers to fix the dunk contest. But no, this the NBA. Y'all going to have to fix this yourselves. And then a lot of times, too, it's not even the type of dunk that you do. It's the stars. It's the lack of star power in the dunk contest. If we just seen Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant in the dunk contest, we're not asking them to do something crazy in the air. If they just came out there and did some powerful dunks and gave us something special, we will hype it and be like, oh, God, 50. Jesus, we never seen this before. We just seen Mac McClung do it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not about the dunk. It's about the dunker. It's about the dunker. We don't care who's dunking it. We don't care. We don't care what's the dunk. It's all about the dunker. Lack of star power. That's what it is. And the fix is going to have to be, how much more money do these players need? Right? Like that. It seems like when you put money on the line, then that's when they start to just be like, okay, cool, we got it. If you had to up the money up to $5 million for the winner of the dunk contest, you're going to see stars do it. Jaylen Brown tried to be the star to do it, but it just didn't work. He dunked over Casanat. It's not going to get anybody going, right? Like, that's okay, cool. So it's going to have to be an incentive that they cannot deny, right? And now we've seen Jace Richardson damn near get concussed on the court during the dunk contest. And that was one of my biggest fears, like, damn, are we ever going to see like a nasty injury? I hope not. That wasn't nasty, but I can tell you this. I don't know this part I'm about to say, but I can tell that these Nikes and Adidas agencies and PR, they probably stepped in like, no, my player is not competing in this dunk contest and risking injury. I bet you that's how they thinking. I bet you they saving their stars. They'd rather see their stars get hurt in a regular game than something that they could have prevented. That could be the case. Hell, but I believe that was the case for LeBron James and why he didn't enter. He probably wanted to. I don't think LeBron James is scared of a dunk contest. The fuck you gotta be scared for? You're LeBron James. Like, you competed in a dunk contest when you was in high school. I think Nike stepped in and said, no, he's not participating in this. That's my belief. I could be wrong. But I'm just looking like, damn, every star saying no. Something not adding up. So, it's going to take a sit down, a meeting of some sort. Be like, hey, we got to fix this. But at the same time, unfortunately, these shoe companies, these shoe brands, they don't give a damn about no dunk contest. I believe it elevates your brand, yes, but but the risk and reward is not there. So, that's just how I look at it. But overall, All-Star Weekend, man, it's just only because it started at 4 o'clock. The dunk contest, we already know. But here's a possible solution to the All-Star Weekend. 1-on-1. 3 dribbles around the perimeter. 1-on-1 tournament. $1 million. Some of the best NBA players in the game. I don't see no complaints with that, potentially. That could happen. So, I don't know. Who am I to say? I'm not a hooper. I'm not a baller. I used to hoop a long time ago, retired. Not doing that no more. Moving on to a subject that I haven't really touched on yet, but people that know me know this is my favorite show ever. And I damn near spent my 20s watching this. And I haven't been feeling right, man. I haven't been feeling right at all. You know, people that know that sound know that came from Stranger Things. 2 months has flown by, and not even 2, it's been a month and a half. But either way, feels like 2 months. And it's kind of weird now watching Stranger Things and not looking forward to another season or another episode. But as I digested the show, knowing that it's done, I know we're going to get spinoffs. I started thinking like, okay, it's gone. It's over. I'm still sad about it. Because when I see clips on social media, I'm like, damn, it's really done, right? Like, it's over with. And I haven't touched on the show. I haven't even gave a review. I haven't did none of that. I wanted to digest it. You know, my son, he still watches it faithfully. He's going back from season 1 repeatedly and watching the show now. Over and over. And I started thinking, where did Stranger Things go wrong with season 5? Because if you go back, the hype was at an all-time high going into the season. You can arguably say the way Volume 1 ended. Going into Volume 2 was more hype than going into Volume 1. I could be wrong, but I think that's a good argument, especially how Volume 1 ended. With Will. Spoiler alert, if you ain't see it yet, too late. Oh well. With how that Volume 1 ended, I feel like Volume 2, I was ready all day for Christmas. I want to watch it. But I started thinking, what is one of the reasons why Stranger Things went left at the end? You could go so many different directions. And I've been online looking at people saying they use ChatGPT to do the writing, do the ending. They rushed it. You know, the scene with Will. I've seen people talk about all these different theories. But I haven't really seen nobody touch on this part with season 5. Season 1 through 4, oh, phenomenal. Yeah. And as I finished season 5, I did say, okay, at the end it was satisfying. Satisfying last episode. Cool. Looking back now, the battle was rushed. There was no Demodolls, Demogorgons, Demobats, none of that. Nobody died. Yes. A lot of people touched on that. But I'm going to touch on something that nobody really talked about, and I started thinking about this before I recorded. What was the point of Mr. What's-It? I don't see why they try to fit in another character of this same person. We already have one we trying to understand. We already have Henry. We have one/Henry/Vecna. And I'm okay with that because I'm still trying to understand the mind of Henry Creel. I'm still trying to understand the mind of Henry Creel and trying to understand Vecna's plan when he opened up the gate at the end of season 4. And I'm already okay, cool, he's one. I get that. But I can't lie, now that I think about it, when I did see Mr. What's-It appear, I was like, okay, where y'all trying to go with this? They coming and get kids and whoop-de-whoop, and all right, cool. All right, but you try to capture 12 kids, but nothing happened. What the fuck? So what was this whole time, this whole season, Mr. What's-It basically had more screen time than Henry, than Vecna. What was the point? People want to say that they wasted 10 minutes of screen time with Holly and Max having a segment based like a podcast before leaving the Upside Down or leaving the memory of Henry or /Vecna. And people want to point to the Will scene when he came out and basically gave a speech before battle. No. How about wasting the entire season around Mr. What's-It? Because that didn't make sense. That's what blew me off the most when it came to this. I'm like, hold on, what was the whole point of adding another side character of this character of Vecna? Why add more when we're still trying to figure out Henry Creel? I would have much rather them bring up the play. And I still don't know why it's not on Netflix in America. Why in God's name we have to go watch the play? Can't it please come to America on Netflix? Please. I just feel like after season 4, there was a lot of things that were just misaligned. Why put out a play that can only be shown overseas on Netflix? Or you have to go to the play physically? Why is that the rollout to season 5? Well, the play is going to be an integral part in season 5. And it barely was. Barely was. Right? You threw in the play that a lot of these parents, and Hopper and Joyce and all the parents of the kids, went to the same school with Henry. And you mean to tell me that there was no scene of Vecna recognizing Joyce, Hopper? There was no scene where Hopper and Joyce was like, wait, Henry from high school? There was none of that shit at all. Just another villain. Just another villain walking around this motherfucker. That's it. Nobody recognized each other. Nothing. So I'm trying to understand, why? Mr. What's-It was a pointless ad for this show. I love Derek. Oh my God. I love that character. I love the role. I love Holly. But god damn, she had more screen time than 11? Really? They told us season 5 is going to come back full circle. It's going to be like season 1. It's going to be like season 1. All the kids going to get together. We're going to see the game back on camera. Here and there, I started feeling moments. I'm like, okay, here and there. Right? But it felt like the main characters were the side characters. It felt like Dustin and Steve was arguing the whole time and they made up at the end. That's what it felt like. We did not get the scene of the flashback of season 1 where Will goes home, the door magically unlocks, and the Duffers told us that was going to be revealed in season 5. That was a lie. We didn't even get that. So I'm trying to understand. I'm lost in what was the writers, what was they thinking when they made season 5? The battle at the end. I love the part when they defeated him. Yeah, for sure. I love the part where Joyce takes an axe and for every hit, there's a flashback going to the character, how Vecna affected their life. I loved it. But I was the victim of saying I was denying it, just saying like, oh no, it was a good battle, whoop-de-whoop. But in actuality, it was pretty short. Pretty short battle. So it felt like it was a lot of mishaps in season 5, right? It felt like it was a lot of moments where it's like, okay, they really could have did X, Y, and Z, but then until they did this. And another part that they messed up on, I believe, is that when they said that this show was going to be centered around Will, oh, it was all right. But my understanding was like, okay, it's going to be when they shown the flashback of Will getting captured back in season 1, I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of flashbacks of what happened when he was missing all those days. What was going on. When Joyce and Hopper, now I'm getting deep into the Stranger Things bag now, how Joyce and Hopper saved him. Did Vecna lure them in? Did they know? Did he know X, Y? A lot of these things, in my mind, I'm thinking about. And at one point, the Upside Down was a place you couldn't go in without putting on basically a whole suit, covering up your mouth, your nose, so you won't inhale it. Now they walking in scot-free in season 5, and they just lollygagging, lolly, just all that in the Upside Down. They built a base in Upside Down now. There's a wormhole. How's everybody just walking around with no mask? They didn't tell us that they came in there and just cleansed the Upside Down. So this is breaking news to me and everybody else that's watching. You couldn't go down there without putting on a whole suit. So it felt like a lot of missteps, and I get it. People want to talk about the deaths, the lack of deaths, yada. Look, they had a lot of close calls. Should somebody have gotten killed? Maybe. Especially where Nancy and Jonathan had their whole Titanic scene. And I'm thinking like, oh, there you go. Jonathan and Nancy, they gone. Here it go. They finna drown because the acid, everything is rising up. They had a whole breakup scene, and then all of a sudden it just dried up. That, to me, that was pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing. So I will say this about the whole show. It is still the best show Netflix has ever had. That is still Netflix money maker. They're going to do spinoffs. Will I watch the spinoffs? Yes. More than likely, it's going to be a prequel to Henry. We're going to get more of Henry in this spinoff than we would in the entire season. The show is still, if you look from season 1 to 5, it is still an all-time great show. It is the best show, to me, in my opinion, of this era. When you take shows that's streaming only, the binge era, that did not come on cable television, Stranger Things is the best show ever. What about Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones was a weekly show that came on HBO. That does not count. What about Power? Power came on weekly as well. Stranger Things, the one that was the binge only. And out of those shows, that's the best show ever, in my opinion. Reached every audience, the impact of the show, growing up with the show, it reached every genre. I mean, hell, everybody could watch it, right? And it was still a great show overall. Do every last season lives up to the hype? No. Go look at Game of Thrones. I'm not even a fan of Game of Thrones, but I give it its respect. I believe that Game of Thrones it's 1-2 Game of Thrones Stranger Things of this era. But go talk to those fans. They hated it. They hated the ending. I'm not necessarily going to say I hate the ending of Stranger Things, but I do believe the season overall was underwhelming. There was a lot of holes in it. It felt like it should have been 12 to 13 episodes. Right? Like, I felt like that's what it should have been. Because we didn't get it. We left out with a lot of questions more than answers. And if season 4 was going to be the end, and they had the big battle of killing all Vecna on season 4, now we talking about a perfect show at that point. But season 5 did bring it down a tad bit. So, hey, you could judge it how you want, but for me, it's still an all-time great show. But yeah, this was fun. This was a fun episode. Again, I appreciate y'all for listening, staying this long. I appreciate y'all for subscribing to The Real Deal with Akil. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me since 2017 when I first launched this podcast. And we not going nowhere. We not, I promise you. Real Deal with Akil, we out.
I feel like every day that I wake up, you know, still be trying to figure out this life shit. Can't say I got answers yet, but, you know, I feel like we all trying to figure this out. Yeah, what's a life without peace? Life without goals, life without love, life without souls, life without